Discord, and I need to verify my YouTube channel, but I've used my mobile number a few times, and YouTube doesn't let you verify it, so I'm gonna have to ask my mum if I can borrow her phone just for a one-time thing, and then do like a video verification. That way I can pin comments, make longer videos. Anyway, I said I was going to do a video about the music industry because I did a video about my criticisms of journalism, which hasn't got any views, but that might be because I swore too much. I don't know if YouTube can pick up on actual swearing in videos or if they just pick up on swearing in the titles. I really don't know. It's a dystopian state. If you guys who like my content can really share and all of that and subscribe and like, I always used to despise, and I despise saying it now, but I got to admit, a little bit desperate. I need to grow a little bit of an audience here. Yeah, anyway, the music industry. I feel like anything that has the word industry next to it is almost always bad. If it didn't start out bad, it always becomes bad. You know, was it Harvey Dent in Batman? It's like, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I feel like that is every single endeavor. Sometimes even bands themselves. I mean, I look at some of the old punk bands and look, I don't know too much about Jello Biafra. I prefer listening to the music than dissecting every single piece about an individual musician. Exceptions, Ian Curtis, for instance. There are some people I absolutely love peeling apart their entire life, even if I don't agree with them. But when you think of it, really political bands like, Rage Against the Machine, Dead Kennedys, and you think about I can't remember who the lead singer is. I'm not a massive Rage Against the Machine fan. I like the obvious tracks, and that's about it. I only really like Killing in the Name of. I'm not going to pretend to be a big Rage Against the Machine fan, but my brothers and my mum are both fans, so I know a lot about Rage Against the Machine as a band, right? I know a lot about Tom Morello, especially the guitarist. And then you think about Jello, who's also sort of touting the Democratic line, and you just think to yourself, for the record, I'm a Trump supporter. Those last two songs I just uploaded, one there's a cover of California Uber Alles, and another is called Misfits. If it isn't obvious from the California Uber Alles one that I'm a Trump supporter and that I'm 100% firmly Make America Great Again, Republican, dissident, British conservative, then I don't know what will. If you don't like that, that's your problem, it's not mine. I just think it's bollocks to shill for the machine. But the music industry, I don't want to get too off on the politics side of it, but the music industry is just, it's a dead joke. I touched on this previously. People like Tate McRae. I used to be friends with a girl who really liked Tate McRae. And everyone's allowed to like their own things, but it's just, I don't understand what possesses somebody to listen to that kind of music and actually think, oh my God, this person's amazing, and then I'm going to build my whole life around them. And I'm not trying to sound like a dick. I just don't get it. I don't get it, that's all. That's all it is. I don't understand it, right? People can do what they want. I don't judge people. I mean, look, I'm not going to not be friends with somebody because of their music taste. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to get into a relationship with somebody because of their music taste. It helps if you've got, but if there were other things that bond you and whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I just think the music industry today I guess it's an acceleration of what began in the 80s. And what began in the 80s was this push, especially in the late 80s, towards mainstream pop culture music, whereas before pop was a genre that was mainly defined by, let's say, popular music, right? And it was sort of an ever-evolving thing. You listen to what was considered pop music in the 60s. You've got the Beatles in there in the early days. And even the pop music that there is, it's very... it's still got some depth to it. A lot of it was love songs, sure, but it was good, right? There was a lot of guitar, there was work that was put into being a pop star, is what I'm saying. Pop music used to be a difficult task, and I'm not saying that it's not difficult anymore. What I'm saying is it's not comparable. It's like climbing Mount Snowdon, or Snowdon, whatever it's called, versus climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. There are massive differences here. The 60s, it was like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro with no safety equipment. The modern music industry is like climbing Snowdon, but you've got, all of the safety equipment possible, and also if you get too tired, there's somebody that will just put you on his back, and the poor bastard will climb the rest of the way for you. That, to me, is the big distinction between old and modern pop music. Believe it or not, I like pop music. The Beach Boys, the Beatles. I love pop music. I just don't like any of the pop music that's come out in the last 20 or 30 years. That's a lie. I like it. I like it, some of it. But do I love it? No. Can I say that even guilty pleasure, I like some of Nicki Minaj's early stuff, like Starships? Yeah, I do. I think that's a really fun song. Do I like some of Ariana Grande's songs? The stuff I've heard, yeah, Dangerous Woman is a good song. That's a cracker. I like Iggy Azalea as well. I was very big into her when I was younger. You know, do I love those songs? Will I put them in a list? Will they? Do the musicians themselves go on my top inspirations? No, because there's just not enough there for me to want that. The music industry today, I said it before, I'll say it again, it's all about selling the same product that is proven to work to the same audience. And here's the thing, now this is something that I think is true. Pete Townsend said this. He said, and I know it's misogynistic, but I don't care. Suck my dick. He said that young girl, and the thing is famous because the Who always said they wrote songs for guys, right? They wrote songs to fight to, as opposed to love songs. It was very common in the 60s. He said the girls are very fickle. They tend to move in between music. They never really commit to one band, whereas guys are different. I think that's true because I think when you look at the modern music industry and the pop industry, it's geared towards females overwhelmingly. I haven't got any data on that. It's just, I don't really know any young men who are absolutely head over heels with people like Ariana Grande or anything else. And if you look at the people that go to an Ariana Grande concert or they go and listen to Tate McRae, they're almost always young girls between the ages of 18 and 25. And they're almost always flip-flopping between different groups. They are the easiest market ever to a soulless corporate industry insider who just wants to sell a product. They are the easiest people ever to sell a product to. I mean, they're the Instagram generation, so they're literally, they have no attention span. They just, all bright, if I may, I know this makes me sound like a bit of a dick. I apologize because I know people like this. I'm not, they're lovely people. I'm not trying to be cruel here. Oh, shiny red ball from Family Guy. It's like that. It's like, it's just shiny, pretty lights, pretty colors. It makes me feel good. And, blah, 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 girl power, sex positivity, blah, 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 blah. And it is like, I mean, for the music industry, the state of young women especially is a fucking wet dream to the soulless corporate cunts that run the music industry. I mean, I think the music industry was often geared towards that, even when it was good. Because look at the Beatles. The Beatles will go out and play to an audience of teenage girls that'd be creaming their pants. I mean, that was part of their profit margin, part of the reason why they were successful, part of the reason why people like Albert Einstein, the Beatles manager, were able to make so much money. All right, Dave. But that's sort of, that is the way. If anyone gets that reference, yeah, good. I like you. Yeah, it's. I hate the music industry. I think it's soulless cash grab. It's crap. It's garbage. It sucks. It's a pile of shit. It's geared towards simple, cut and paste, maximizing profit margins. Gloop. Slop. It's modern pop music is the borscht or whatever it's called, borscht of music. It will sustain you. No frills. But you'll soon want another bowl, and there's not really much to it that makes it special or makes it stand out. It's serviceable, but it's not a fine 5-star Italian gourmet meal, right? If I think of 5-star Italian gourmet meals for music, I think of David Bowie. I think of Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures. I think of that specific album is just. I think of all the stuff that Depeche Mode, New Order put out in the 80s. I think of Iggy Pop, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Cream, for God's sake. I think of this just gorgeous stuff that was coming out. And I don't think or Sleaford Mods, modern. That's one of the few modern bands. But again, they're not mainstream really. Amyl and the Sniffers as well, not mainstream, getting there. And Sleaford Mods are getting there. There is a punk revolution coming, thankfully. But I called this at the start of the pandemic anyway. I've been ahead of the curve on this one more than most people. But it's just, no, I can't think of that. The modern music industry, I think it's kind of like with everything else. The modern music industry needs to break. It needs to crash. People need to lose lots of money. Artists need to become bankrupt. The industry itself needs to be absolutely bulldozed to the fucking ground, so that younger people like myself can rise up in it. And I remember saying to my brother, I said, I'd rather be a famous musician and die poor than be rich and sell my soul out to the industries and to the corporate bosses. Money doesn't interest me. Status, legacy, and musical, artistic integrity, those things matter more. They don't matter to most people, especially young people now who get their start in music. As I said before, Tate McRae, YouTube, blah blah blah, goes that Miley Cyrus, you know, had, and I think Tate McRae also had some sort of connections to child style sort of crap as well. I know that Miley Cyrus, I know that a lot of them have, right? They start off, they're a teenager, they're clean and pretty and prim, manufactured to that audience. Then they get 18, and suddenly it's like, oh my god, look, I've got a pair of tits, and I'm just going to slam them in your face while I'm singing mediocre lyrics, auto tuned to fuck. You know, make Cher look like, you know, nothing. It's that soulless fucking way that it works. They almost always, these big pop musicians too, it's all part of a club. They very rarely just spring out of nowhere and are organic. It's one gigantic club of mediocrity. It's a polished turd that no one else is allowed to get in on the ground floor. And it just makes me sick to my stomach. It really does. And anyone out there who likes real music and who's actually a genuine music buff, or God forbid, an actual musician, join me now. Let's hold hands and just absolutely fucking pray to God that this behemoth is crushed in our lifetime. Let's hope that the massive, Great Depression 2.0 that we're expecting in some point in the next 10 to 15 years, sometime in the 2030s. Let's hope that that next Great Depression absolutely fucks the music industry, fucks the gaming industry, fucks Hollywood and the film industry. Let's hope all of these people absolutely fucking collapse. Because then we'll have real art again. That's when we'll get real art. See you later.